Why, hello, human beings. How you doing today? My name is Q, and thank you for watching my video. Now, the reason why you see me dress up as a Splatoon character is because I'm going to DragonCon because I am volunteering to be there. So, at least we could dress up. I'm going to dress up. I got my homegirl, Marina, on the shirt. So, yeah, I'm going to take some pictures and some stuff like that. But it's me volunteering, so that's all it is. But that's not either here or there. First thing first, I want to say I am having a interview with a furry. So he already know that I'm gonna have an interview with him, and we're gonna do it on next Saturday. Don't know the time. I'll give you more updates with that, and want to give you a heads up. Reason why I want to have an interview with him is because I kind of want to look at the fandom because I don't know nothing about it, and if I don't know nothing about it, I will ask questions. And by all means, we have to give respect to other people because we're all human beings, and that's how it is. We want to treat other people like how we want to be treated. So yeah, I really want to go ahead and have an interview with this person. He's really cool, and he's actually pretty dope. And I had to give him thanks because he let me create more content on my channel, and he's awesome. I really appreciate him doing this. So, and with that being said, I want to say I want to treat other people like I want to be treated. So I guess the fan base of PlayStation want to be doxxed and want to be harassed because they want to go ahead and dox harass Austin Evans, a YouTuber, a tech YouTuber. I want to say tech because he do nothing but tech. If you haven't seen the video about him talking about the situation, I will have it in the link in the description. But how dare the PlayStation community look for the fans? I'll talk about fans of the consoles. The fans. I'm not talking about you. You love playing the games. You don't care about the exclusives. You don't care about anything. You just want to play on the system, and that's fine. And I give you most appreciation for that, and you're awesome for that. But for the fanboys and the fangirls, you think it was okay to go ahead and harass Austin Evans? Do you think it's okay for people to dox him? I don't know who it was, but he been doxxed, he been harassed, he been getting attacked. And yes, he understand that the video that he made about the PlayStation, he just showed you what was in the system. The heat sink is small. That's a problem. Of course, the PlayStation fan boys and girls don't understand how tech work, how PC work, because it's a broken down version of a PC. I'm going to be honest with you. One fan had to cool down the whole system. Come on. So the reason why I'm making this video because I want to hear all these fan base call out. I want to see all these fanboys and fangirls call them out for their self, harassing the people, harassing Austin, harassing all these people. I just want to see it. I want to see the apologies that you could give him. So yeah, he understand that he gonna get criticism. At least he could take criticism. He talked about the system, and y'all want to go ahead and be salty about it. Send them different links. The system get hot. Admit it. I can admit there's a better fan, a quieter fan in the system, but quiet doesn't mean it's gonna cool efficient. Like at my PC, I run 9 fans in my PC. I'm trying to keep my component cool. When components get hot, it's going to shut down. It's not going to blow up. I never going to claim it's going to blow up. I don't know. I don't know the situation. But at the same time, it get hot, it's going to get shut down. So the fact that you don't know nothing about PCs is evident. But at the same time, you want to go ahead and share about what PlayStation talking about charging you another $70 if you go ahead and get, if you don't have the PlayStation 5 version of Horizon Zero Dawn, a free upgrade. I mean, a free upgrade from the Horizon Forbidden West. I'm sorry I said Zero Dawn, but Forbidden West. You telling me that it was a free up? That was the smartest thing Sony could have done. because you could have got this $60 game, upgraded so you could have a same experience that you would get for the $70 game. And honestly, that would have been smart on Sony. I would have gave Sony that. Like honestly, like, oh, so I buy the PlayStation 4 version and I could upgrade to the PlayStation 5 when I get it. That's amazing, Sony. But yet, now you're going to charge people $70 for an upgraded game they already bought. And you got Sony fans talking about Microsoft and their smart access. At least you don't have to charge. At least they're not charging you for an upgrade. So for the fanboys, fangirls, I'm talking about the Rome Rush, the J-Tech, the Sugary Girl 2012, Dreamcast Guy, who I am going to get at right now. Just admit, if you're going to have the same energy there, bring it to the people who harass Austin Evans. That's messed up. And speaking of messed up, Dreamcast Guy, this video for you. I saw the video that you did about Austin Evans. And you're the main culprit of me criticizing you right now. You could be a nice guy and everything, and you could show this whole entire, thing that you're trying to be a key source of gaming news. You could also wear fake glasses in your video and talk about some stuff. But Dreamcast Guy, why you lying, dude? You don't know nothing about tech. I'm not going to say you're lying because you don't know nothing about tech. You can't lie about something that you don't know. So I'm about to go over the video that you're talking about Austin Evans and talking about the PlayStation because you're defending PlayStation. And I'm about to talk about it. Let's get into the video. Okay, Dreamcast Guy, I'm at the video. The new PlayStation 5 is not worse. Angry rant. So it's a rant. Do you know anything about tech? You talk about tech in your system. You talk about the tech that's in the PlayStation 5. And yet, you don't know what it does. You don't know what each part does. As a person who's training for being a IT specialist, let's go ahead and talk about your video, dude.
I'm getting just a little bit frustrated right now, so let's just have a nice therapeutic angry rant for the middle of the night. What?
Really? You're mad because somebody opened up a PlayStation 5 new version and you get salty about that? Because I'm not only going to criticize on the points that you're wrong, I'm going to criticize on how you looked at stuff.
What's up, gamers? Dreamcast Guy here, and yes, these are my real pajamas. I wear a Goku gi in my sleep. But let's turn on the spotlight and talk about this ridiculousness that keeps cycling across the internet.
Where's your fake glasses? Where's your fake glasses?
I've seen so much debate recently about this new PlayStation 5 revision. Basically, Sony is trying to make a slightly updated change to the PlayStation 5, another version to basically churn out to make sure the PlayStation 5 has systems on store shelves. Well,
do you know the reason why they did that? Like, besides trying to overstock? Number one, you got scalpers that scalping. And I'm going to go on a little of what I think the reason why there's no more PlayStation 5s out there, so people are trying to get them. And it's not that, and everything is something I'm about to say. Number one, they made the heatsink smaller so it could weigh less. If you work delivery, stuff that weigh less mean less money to ship. Number two, they just try to make it where it's more convenient for everybody to get. So they want to push more consoles out there. I think they think it's a good idea to make the heatsink smaller so they could go ahead and ship it out. So they can make a profit. Their businesses, they're going to make a profit. Number three, you still got scalpers out there who going to sell you systems on the high note. Because PlayStation was the best system last year. And when I say system, I'm talking about gaming system. I'm not talking about PC. PlayStation 4 was the best gaming system of last year. They made pro-consumer moves. Except for paying for you online, increasing the price. Other than that, they was pretty much pro consumer. And also forget about exclusive, but they was actually pro consumer towards the towards the PlayStation 4. And I give them that. A lot of people was attracted because what Xbox been doing, it was anti-consumer. So nobody didn't trust Xbox at that time, giving you a Connect, watching you, DRM, stuff like that. And I get that. But the start of this new generation, Sony is thinking like the PlayStation 5 is like the PlayStation 3. Get a second job if you can't pay $600. They still making the same. They're not making the same moves, but they still got the same mentality of that same situation. Paying $70 for a game, don't give you free upgrades. Uh, making more of a profit. They just care about money, which is a business. They're going to make money. I can't back them down for it. But for you, Dreamcast guy, to defend this whole situation without calling them out is ridiculous. The reason why it's small, yeah, it might cost less to ship, but at the same time, you want the system to cool down because a smaller heatsink is not going to work as efficient as a bigger heatsink.
This guy, Austin Evans, he is a very, very big YouTuber, and he's had this trending video for the last 2 days called The New PS5 is Worse. Now, Austin Evans is a very intelligent gentleman. He decided to do a detailed analysis, breaking them down, running some games, seeing the new PlayStation 5 that's just been produced versus the old PlayStation 5.
What's wrong with that? He broke it down. He's a tech YouTuber. He's going to go ahead and push the system to its limit that he know he going to push. He's going to look inside the system. He's going to go ahead and see what's going on. Because that's the thing. Because that's how I got into tech. I broke down electronic toys that I had when I was a kid. That's just how it is. I want to know what was working in the system. He taking the passion that he have, and he's going to do that. Yeah, he bought those systems with his own money. And he's going to break it down there for his best because he spent the money on his system. He could do whatever he want. All right. So what's wrong with him breaking down the system? He just want to put out a video.
Now, what I find most fascinating is the fact that he decided to do a complete teardown of it as well, opening it up, and he discovered something is significantly different in this new PlayStation 5.
Yeah, it weighs less, so something been changed. That's just common sense. And there you go. Sony new PlayStation 5 model weighed less because it have a smaller heatsink. Did he not prove that to you?
Which is this. The PlayStation 5 weighs a ½ pound less because it has a smaller heatsink. Now, here is an exact side-by-side comparison.
Okay, if you don't know, over to the left is the PlayStation 5 original version. And over to the right is the PlayStation 5 newer edition. Now, looking off of this right here, I don't like the Verge. So, at least this is Austin Evans' video. I'm not a big fan of the Verge. Verge is whatever. But as you can see, the heat pipe is bigger than on the old one than the new one. If I'm not mistaken, they say because of they want to make sure the system stay cool, so they over engineer everything. But let's just look a little bit closer because apparently he don't understand. Okay, we have copper on the old one, rarely no copper on the new one. If I'm not mistaken, if you don't know what PC does, you got these things where it's do I have one or no? I do, but it's in my in the system I want to build. I can't explain it because I don't have one freely. But if you look right here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 heat pipes right here that goes through the fins, and there are probably more because of this that goes to the fins. So the heat from the CPU get traveled to these heat pipes, and then they spread out by the fins. Over here, I only see 1, 2, 3, 4. I only see 4 heat pipes. 6 to 4, telling you the truth, I'd rather have 6 than 4. More means it's going to cool down more. And it's supposed to go through the fins. Now, I'd rather have more fins than less fins, but that's not here or there. Especially this right here is smaller than the other one. So, Dreamcast Guy, heat had to go through here. If there's more copper heat sinks, then it's going to cool down a lot better.
This is what is going on, and I cannot believe the amount of people that are freaking out about this. But let's talk about why these people seem to be upset, what seems to be the fear of what's going on, and why this is happening.
Because for people who own consoles, they don't want to think about stuff that had to deal with PC. Look at Crap Gamer. He had to do everything to his PlayStation 5 that you do close to a PC. He had to troubleshoot it. You don't get it. You're defending this. A lot of people is mad because they afraid that their system is going to overheat. Not blow up, but overheat where the system going to shut down. It's going to get older a lot faster. And that's why I run water cooling in my system, because water cooling is going to be more of an efficient way to cool it down. I know there was testing in there about the same, but at least water's going to the CPU and it's running just fine. You just don't get it, Dreamcast Guy. You're not a tech person. You're just a fanboy about the console. We get it.
So what you're looking at here is the heat sink. This is the original PlayStation 5 that's being currently sold in most places, and this is the revised PlayStation 5, the update that's currently being produced, and it seems like we're going to start seeing this version exclusively showing up on store shelves. Now, as you can see, this thing is the heat sink. This is how the heat is taken out of the system and shot out the back. It basically makes sure that
No duh.
nothing just gets too toasty inside the system itself. Now let's be clear, this exists for a singular reason. It's because they want to try and just make as many PlayStations as possible. By actually going into the system itself and just shrinking down specific parts, swapping things out, what they're actually going to do is they're making it so they can produce a lot more PlayStation 5s.
No, because they can still do that with the old one. It doesn't matter about that. They want to save money. Sony is a brand that want to make money. That's what the corporation want to do. If they could shrink down on some stuff, then they're going to go ahead and make more money because it's less to produce. Less weight means cheaper to ship out to other people. We're still in a pandemic where we're trying to get back to normalizing the world. So therefore, we could get more chips and stuff. We still got the chip shortage. We still got people who want to scalp them. And you don't think people are going to scalp this? Why don't PlayStation? Why don't Sony take the approach what Valve did? Reserve your copy online. Then they give you an email so you can pick it up. That will stop scalpers, because scalpers can't go ahead and buy multiple parts. There's other ways to sell the system. If they did what Valve did, then PlayStation will be more in people's hands. And that's why I think Valve taking the Steam Deck into a better version of pre-ordering. You can spend $500 now and try to get a system, but you see what happened. Scalpers bought them and now they're trying to sell them. At least with reserving a copy, you could at least get one. It probably won't be on release day. It probably might be later. But guess what? You will get yourself a PlayStation 5. How do you not get that? They want to make more money.
This shortage, let's face it, the PlayStation 5 shortage, it completely sucks for everybody involved. I have a pretty big friend group, and nobody I know in real life, not a single person, owns a PlayStation 5. I am the only PlayStation 5 in my entire friend group, and
Congratulations, you bought yours when you saw one. You pre-ordered one when you got it into your cart. Here's the thing. You're the lucky one who got one. But everybody else can't get one because they can't. Oh, sorry. a whole bunch of people can't get one because scalpers is buying them up left to right. They got a whole bunch of money so they could just pay for the PlayStation 5 and then resell it. Now people who make this is going to say, "Oh, the old PlayStation 5 is better because it got a bigger heat sink."
It's simply because I got lucky and happened to pre-order one last year.
Congratulations. Yes, you got lucky. Your friends didn't. They making it so it could be cheaper so they could send it out to other people while they could make a profit because they say they're not losing anything on selling the PlayStation 5. Copper, you don't understand the pandemic. Guess what? It's not just the chip that is in shortage. It's not just the PlayStation 5 that's in shortage because scalpers and stuff. You know what else is in shortage? Material. Material to make it, aka copper, aluminum, plastic. That's right there is going to cost money. And guess what? All that stuff raised up in price. If you could just do the simple research and realize, hey, some other stuff is to put together a console that's going to cost money.
This system is way too stupid difficult to track down, and Sony themselves knows this. I'm sure they realize by the millions of emails they're probably getting and angry tweets telling them to, get fisted or whatever the heck. They know that the PlayStation 5 is way too hard to get. So I think that this is their attempt to start making a smaller, cheaper revision. That way they can produce them just a little bit.
It's not smaller, it's the same size. It's just the heatsink way less, like half a pound. It's going to be cheaper to ship. How do you not understand that these are businesses who trying to make money? They don't care about you. If that's the case, then they will stop selling to scalpers and they will probably do the same thing what Valve doing. Yeah, I'm not saying Valve care about their customers. I'm not saying that. But their way of shipping, pre-ordering is way better than what what Sony, Microsoft, even Nintendo is doing. They have a reserve list, put you in a spot, and tell you when you expect to get an email to pay for your system. Dreamcast Guy, you're acting too much of a fanboy. Your feelings got hurt when Austin made this video. Your feelings got hurt when Austin made this video. I understand that, but you're too much of a fanboy to realize any options of that.
But faster. Now, part of the anger about this, I think, comes from Austin Evans himself. This guy's done a bunch of big viral content talking about Microsoft and how much he just thinks it's the best system ever and stuff like that. You can see this is one of his videos looking at the Xbox Series X that has 16 million views. The guy is very heavily an Xbox content creator. Nothing wrong.
Are you? You haven't looked at any of his videos. Look at the last video that he did. I'm going to put it in the description. I hope you see this video, Dreamcast Guy. PlayStation is a business. They didn't even send Austin a copy of the PlayStation. But you know what Microsoft did? They brought him in so he could do what he did. Yes, Microsoft made so many mistakes in the past. But you know what's funny about what Microsoft doing with the cooling and PlayStation doing with the cooling? Microsoft engineered what they did with the cooling. You know why? I don't think you remember the Xbox 360 years with the Red Ring of Death. The Red Ring of Death was because of cooling. Microsoft lost a lot of money on that, yes. But they learned from that to make the cooling first in priority. Yeah, they want to make a powerful system, but how can you run a powerful system without proper cooling? Imagine me putting a PlayStation fan and just one into my PC and run it just like that. You think it's going to last? No, it's not going to last. You know why? because my system need more cooling. I'd rather have more cooling in my system than having a better looking system. And I'm dead serious about that. And you can see in this picture right here, air comes through the bottom and exhaust through the top. Microsoft thought about all of this when they built the Xbox Series X. They was thinking about cooling so they don't have to shrink down the heatsink. They want to make sure it's performing better. It's simple PC stuff, dude.
Along with that, we all have our favorite systems.
Oh yeah, and that's where. How dare you gonna call Austin a Xbox fanboy or Xbox Shield? They let him into the shop to do what they want him to do. Honestly, I think Austin best videos, in my opinion, is the Pro versus Broke and Mystery Tech. And honestly, when he do the ultimate so on and so forth on system, like the ultimate Nintendo system, Nintendo Switch system, ultimate PlayStation 3 system, ultimate Xbox 360 system, those three make is like pretty much the popular series on his channel. Now I watch his channel consistently, and I can tell you this right now, Dreamcast Guy, he's not a fanboy. He's not a shield.
But I think a lot of people are kind of assuming malice. So a lot of people are thinking that his video was just overly negative, because one of the conclusions he came to is that this new PlayStation 5 does in fact run hotter. Only by a couple degrees, but there is a discernible difference between the old PlayStation 5 that came out last year versus this new PlayStation 5 that's being released now.
Dude, I want to keep it real with you. I'd rather have a cooler system. It could be 1 degree, 2 degree, 69 degrees. I don't care. I'd rather have a cooling running system over a hot one because my pieces are going to be more protected.
There is an actual measurable distance between these two different systems. It's
And this is why I think about that, because if you ever watch sports, have you ever saw somebody like doing a track race and you don't understand? Yeah, 1 second from first place and second place might not be big to the casual consumer, but to a person who watched track, that 1 second is way too slow for competitive racing. Even 0.10 second is way too slow. They gotta at least be seriously faster than that time. So when I build PCs, I hope my system run at 40 degrees over 50, 30 degrees over 40. Actually, I want my system to run at no degrees over anything. I'd rather have a cooler system over a hot system any day.
tiny, but it does exist. But the key conclusion that Austin tried to draw in this video is the fact that it's pretty apparent that this new PlayStation 5 is pushing out more heat. But here's the gigantic thing that's making me just lose my mind. People are apparently saying that this hotter heat somehow is going to cause the PlayStation 5 to melt or break, or sometimes just become faulty faster.
Yes. Yes. You know why? Because heat is going to run down the CPU. Heat's going to run down the GPU. It's not perfect, Dreamcast Guy. It's not perfect. We rather have more cooling than anything else, Dreamcast Guy. Okay. Have you ever heard of overclocking, Dreamcast? Overclocking. Overclocking is when you take your CPU and GPU and put it to the max so you can get top end performance. Me, I don't overclock. I do got AMD SAM, but I haven't activated it. But I have overclocking. I could overclock my system right now. I don't. You know why? Because my pieces will get older a lot faster because I'm stress testing it. Yes, it gonna run hot. Like I'm looking at my thing. I know it go in 57, 56, so on and so forth. I wish it was cooler, but I think that degree might be off. I gotta look at it at the end of the video. But yes, Dreamcast guy, it's going to run hotter and the parts going to get old. How do you not get that?
Yes, I'm serious. There are millions of people on the internet claiming that the PS5 is going to catch fire or something.
First of all, they gotta show evidence that it's going to catch fire. Second of all, I don't think it's going to catch on fire. I think the CPU is going to get hot, GPU going to get hot, and it's going to shut down your PlayStation. Because when PC parts get hot, it automatically shut off. That's what happens.
So I took a look at some experts. This is actually an article over here on Venture Beats. This is a Jeff Grubb write-up. Now,
Why would you look up some experts and you could just ask regular PC people? You could have asked regular PC people about all of this, but yet you want to go to articles and stuff. You could even went to me, Dreamcast guy. I know I made a video about you in the past. You could even went to me and asked me the question. I was like, "Are you serious? It's not going to catch on fire, but it's going to shut down if it get over hot. I mean, if it get overheated."
now, you got to admit, this is a very, very funny image of a nuclear bomb placed.
Hold up, I gotta rewind that. Okay, I don't usually tell jokes in my videos. I mean, I'm not the greatest funny cat in the world because I'm trying to be serious. But if you look at Dreamcast Guy face when he looked at this article, it looked like he actually got triggered. So we're going to concentrate on his face getting a little triggered.
Is going to catch fire or something. So I took a look at some experts. This is actually an article over here on Venture Beats. This is a Jeff Grubb write-up. Now, you got to admit,
Did you catch that? He just did it. He just did it. He actually got triggered. Dude, quit acting like a PlayStation fanboy and realize that that your system is getting worse if they're going to go ahead. They want to make money. They don't care how they make money. Call these companies out, B.
this is a very, very funny image of a nuclear bomb PlayStation 5.
I don't think it was funny to you. I think you literally got mad. And this is the reason why people went and attacked Austin and doxed him. Because you look like you got mad. I'm not saying you did it. I'm not making that claim. But for the people that attack and dox Austin Evans, it's the people that act like fanboys. The people that was like, yeah, time to attack. Yeah.
But here's what he said. The new PlayStation 5 model is not actually worse. So he goes through this and essentially talks about the fact that even though this is 300 grams lighter, which here in America, that basically means it's a half-pound lighter, basically what's happening is that this is not actually worse. Based on the smaller heatsink, Evans and others have come to the conclusion that the new PlayStation 5 model is worse than the original. But that's actually a squishy statement that doesn't really line up with how we buy and use a gaming console.
Because people just want to plug and play. Everybody's thinking about the short term. Think about the long term. It's pretty much what Sony did is they basically overclock a non-overclockable CPU by putting a smaller heatsink on there. It's going to get hot and it's going to break down in long term. You're thinking about now, oh, I get to play. I know this is a Switch controller. Oh, I get to play my PlayStation 5. This is awesome. Okay, cool. Next day, yes, this is awesome. I get to play it. Oh, wow, this is awesome. Yeah. Oh, let me play Returnal. This game is fun. And then a year later, oh, cool. That's fine. Yeah, I get to play it. Then about 18 months later, is my system slowing down? Shouldn't be. Then next time, yo, my system don't work. I just bought this like a year and a half ago. Why it doesn't work? You know why? Because the parts break down over time. Dude, It's going to happen. The older version just got a better heat sink, more copper, cooling down the system. The old one really doesn't. That's why when you see people picking out their cooling system for their CPU, they look into it even more because they want better cooling.
Jeff Grubb goes on here in his article to state that I suppose you can claim that the latest PlayStation 5 model is worse if you're purchasing it as some sort of weird silicon cooling toy, but most people are probably purchasing it to play games.
And I think that's sad. I think people should look into systems, into their gaming system a little bit more because they can know more about the system if they do their own research. And I'm not talking about Xbox either because Xbox, I need people to do their own research on that too. I'm not saying Xbox is the greatest gaming system out as of right now. I'm not saying that Nintendo is either. Nintendo is, even I got the Gen 1 model, the system is pretty much like it's slowing down too. So yeah, you're going to have to look into the stuff. This, yes, I don't like how PlayStation knocked down the heat sink of the system, but I could see it as a business person.
And both the original and revised hardware play the same games with the same performance. That's what's kind of essential here is that this new PlayStation 5, it's not going to make your house actually get heated. It's not putting off so much heat that it's a danger or a threat.
You literally think that, Dreamcast guy. I'm going to say this. I didn't say that. All I'm saying is the CPU and GPU will crash on itself. And yes, they might get the same performance now, but what about down the road? It could slow down, dude. That's what people are trying to tell you, but you're thinking about right here, right now. But when you come up with, oh, the PlayStation 6 going to be great rumors. I don't believe rumors because of you. I don't believe rumors because of you. I take everything that you say with a grain of salt. You put out false claims, you put out false information, you got people looking up to you, and you don't even correct yourself. You don't even say, hey, I apologize. You always want to use a scapegoat like with a grain of salt. But people still gonna believe of what you're saying. That's why you got videos out there, and when I look up your videos, it's gonna say Dreamcast Guy lie. Have you ever looked at any of your information and just say, you know what, I don't want that on my name. Let me go ahead and clear myself real quick. Dude, you're a fanboy. I'm about to call you console peasant, honestly.
It doesn't seem like the system itself is having any sort of major cooling issues.
Right now is not, but later down the line, it might.
A la the era of the Red Ring of Death, which originally was caused by the Xbox overheating, it seems like this is just a singular 1, 2, or 3 degrees. Like right here it says the difference is 3 to 4 degrees Celsius.
As a PC person, we care about those degrees. I don't want to see 80. I don't even want to see 79. I will be comfortable in the like 70 range. I'm okay with. Like I'm okay with the 70 range. If my CPU go up to 71, I'm stopping what I'm doing. I'm chilling. It does matter because stuff could break down, dude.
Now, I think it's interesting that people are trying to pretend that this is just such a gigantic problem. Like, people are just across the internet right now, the amount of people trying to have this conversation point that, oh my god, this PlayStation 5 is going to melt. Oh my.
Have you not seen a CPU like cook popcorn? It get to the 100 degrees. It's not safe to touch.
There's so many PlayStation 5s just bursting into flames. That's not happening. And on top of that, PlayStation 5s are still.
I mean, you can make it burst into flames. Like, if I could try, I'll make it burst into flames. And not even using like a what you call it? What you call it? Like put like a flame in there. Dude, I could probably just, instead of using thermal paint, thermal paste or liquid thermal paste, I'd probably just go ahead and use like lighter fluid or something. I mean, that could work. That could catch you up on flames. I'm just thinking. I'm not saying do it. Please don't do that, people. But it could catch on flames. I'm just thinking about it.
Just exceedingly rare. Let's just boil this down to brass taxes here. Even if you want to claim this is something actually going on, even if this new PlayStation 5 is just 1% worse, I think most people would be thrilled to find a PlayStation 5 at all right now. I mean, this is still.
Yes, I do agree. You could, when people find a PlayStation 5, they probably going to be happy about it. I give you that. But at the same time, I'm concerned about the long run. If their PlayStation 5 slows down due to the heat sink and everything, that's on PlayStation.
The rarest console on the planet. People are still just lining up. People are still freaking out. People still have Twitter notifications to try and hopefully find a PlayStation 5. Do you think there's anybody that's going to walk into Walmart and see that it has a slightly different barcode number on it?
No, because they're not doing the research. And the reason why I say that, because you have parents going to Walmart, JC Penney's, I'm old, go to Walmart, Target, GameStop, and their sons say, "Let me pick up Grand Theft Auto," and don't even do the single research. And that's why I try to tell everybody to do their research. Don't listen to people what they say. Don't listen to your son about getting that game. Do some research and see if it's a game that you want him to play. Because I'm going to keep it real. All these gambling games, all this stuff, my whole entire mind had changed. And I'll say this. That's on the parents. That's not on the kid. That's not on the company. Company can do whatever they want. That's not on the company. That's not on the kids. That's not on nobody. That kid got your credit card information. You made that decision to give him the credit card so he could buy stuff what he want. That's on you, parents. It's not on the kids. It's not on the gaming companies. That's on you. You need to go ahead and do some research when it comes down to buying games. You need to do the research when to buy a console. Look it up. I'll say about 90% of the people in the whole entire world have cell phones, smartphones, that they could look it up on YouTube. But they're not going to do that because whatever.
And go, oh my god, this is the bad PS5. I can't get the bad PS5. That's not happening.
But Scalpers is going to say the newer PlayStation 5 is going to have a shorter heat sink, meaning worse temps. You realize that's a selling point.
This is people that are just trying to get the PlayStation 5 itself. Now, the last person I wanted to look at was actually MVG, Modern Vintage Gamer. This guy has actually programmed PlayStation 5 games. He's made Xbox games. He's made a lot of different Nintendo Switch games.
All right, I'm going to read this. I thought about covering the PlayStation 5 revision in the video, but I don't believe there's anything worth discussing. Hotter is subjective. When you take readings from the exhaust, when I measured my launch PlayStation 5 last year, I drew 140.9 degrees Fahrenheit over 60 C when I was playing games at loads. Okay, so the cooling not the greatest. PlayStation should have just add more fans. Honestly, it's a big system. They can add more fans. Yeah, on loads, but here's the thing, Modern Vintage Gaming, he wasn't playing games. He had it like on idle, dude. How can you miss this? Like, you just say when you was playing games at loads, meaning your old PlayStation 5 is going to be running hotter because you're playing games. If you put both of those systems running games, they're both going to be hotter. That just makes sense. When I play Resident Evil Village on my PC, it's going to run hotter, of course. When I play Paladins, it's probably not going to run hotter because Paladins doesn't take that much to run. Certain games going to make the system run hotter. That's just basic PC knowledge.
This guy absolutely loves to try and test stuff out thoroughly for himself, and here he basically said, I've thought about covering the PlayStation 5 revision in a video, but I don't believe there's anything worth discussing. Whoops, I'm making a video about this at 2 a.m. Sorry.
And yet he's running the game at loads. You didn't finish reading it, dude. He Austin had the game. I mean, had the PlayStation 5 at idle. He's running games at load. If he had at idle, that's different. Jeez, research.
Sorry about that, MVG. He says this: hotter is subjective when you're taking readings from the exhaust. When I measured my launched PlayStation 5 last year, I drew 140.9 Fahrenheit when I was playing games at load. So basically, what he's saying is that these systems, like the amount of heat they're off putting, is not the same amount as what's actually going on inside the system itself. Even if a system is actually pushing off a lot of heat, the odds of it melting, catching fire, or just instantaneously breaking is so incredibly low. You have to be playing this thing in a sweaty warehouse with 100-degree temperature for 10 hours a day for these systems to actually break.
Dude, did you not understand that? Wow. Wow. He was running it with games. This is where I get really irritated about you, Dreamcast Guy. You mislead your whole entire community. He said he was running it at load. He didn't have it at idle like Austin. I'm calling you out on that. You got to go ahead and apologize to your community. I'm dead serious.
They are made to cool. If you ever actually open up a PlayStation 5, a huge chunk of it is one gigantic cooling core. If you
Add more fans because the system is big enough to add at least another fan. More fans mean better cooling. And make sure it's intake and exhaust. The system is badly designed. I'm going to be dead serious. It's badly designed. They didn't think about cooling. They should have thought about that. Xbox don't want to go through the same situation. They should have thought about cooling.
think that 3 or 4 degrees of Celsius is going to instantly make this thing become exploded like the 4th of July, buddy, that ain't how physics works. Going back to that Jeff Grubb article,
I didn't say it's going to blow up. I say that the system going to shut down. It doesn't matter about physics. It's going to shut down because the system is going to run hotter than 100 degrees. If that CPU run hotter than 100 degrees, it's going to shut down. It's going to give you a warning that PlayStation is going to have to shut down the system because it's too hot.
I feel like he really wraps things up very nicely with essentially a talk about what this really boils down to, which is just a minor revision. Back in the day, whenever you were getting the PlayStation 4 or the PlayStation 3, you always had these tiny touches, these updates to the system itself. A slim model, an ultra slim, one that doesn't have disc trays, but instead the system itself just opens.
And that's the reason why people say the better the system. I mean, the more that the system come out with a revision, the worse the system is. You got people complaining about the OS being terrible after the first one, after the next one, after the next one.
Opens up. Now each of these versions of it basically were the same specs, it was the same processing power, it's the exact same console, it just has some tiny tweaks on the technology side that makes it where Sony or Microsoft or whoever can make these things a little bit easier on their end.
Just because they make it easier doesn't mean it's going to be 100% viable. These systems need better cooling. I'm going to be dead serious. But Xbox, they thought about their cooling. I give them a pass on that because they literally surround their system around better cooling. But PlayStation, no pass. Even Nintendo, I'm not giving a pass. Yeah, it's smaller, but they could have made a better version of it. I'm going to be honest with you. But all the systems need better cooling. That's why I built my PC, so I can play as much cooling as I want in that system.
Anybody who's trying to act like the new PlayStation 5 is trash or that suddenly Sony is trying to sell you out, you guys are psychos. This is a tiny, normal, standard revision. Do you know how much money Microsoft lost dealing with the Red Ring of Death?
Yes, and that's why they coming back. Off of that, yeah, they lost $1 billion. Congratulations, you know that information. But look what Microsoft doing with the newer one. Even though the Xbox One was not the greatest system in its lifetime, it would still have better cooling. And now look at the Xbox Series X. They thought hard about their cooling. Intake on the bottom, exhaust on the top. That's amazing. They thought long and hard about that. But what PlayStation do? Make the heatsink smaller.
Literally $1 billion. Literally $1 billion.
That's like $3 to like that's literally like $3. Yeah, a lot to us, but that's literally like $3.
Was lost dealing with console returns with the Xbox 360. That's what they dealt with. Nobody wants to repeat that. Sony can't afford to lose $1 billion of PlayStation 5s right now.
Then they should have thought about how they brought out the PlayStation 5. Because I'm gonna be dead serious with you. A lot of people is getting mad at Sony for doing all this anti-consumer, and the competition seems a lot better.
I guarantee that they tested this thing thoroughly before they started just throwing them onto boxes and putting them into trucks to mail out to fans themselves. If this system does start failing, if it does start having crashing and heating issues, I mean, Sony's going to get cooked way more than any PlayStation 5 games are going to.
I'm probably going to have to call it now. I think they're going to have problems and they're going to get criticized. They're getting criticized about the Horizon Forbidden West already. They're getting criticized hard, even with Game Pass being better than PlayStation Now. I mean, I understand PlayStation Now. People saying PlayStation Now is better. That's their opinion. But hey, you got people saying black people is superior than white people, but that's their opinion. You got people saying black people is superior. I mean, white people superior than black people superior to white people, but that's their opinion. Doesn't mean that you're right. Is objectively better because there's more people on that service because they see a better value. But it's your opinion. You don't want to show the claims of why it's better, but hey, whatever. I'm looking at the numbers. I'm looking at the what you call it, and yeah, PlayStation doing some dumb moves. People not calling it out. I'm surprised. I'm happy that the fans is calling it out, not the fanboys or girls.
Going to. But these are just some random off the cuff aggravated thoughts because this kind of stuff, I get so annoyed when there's like a tiny piece of well edited misinformation that spreads and spreads and spreads.
Look in the mirror and say the same as that thing, Dreamcast Guy, because you're part of the problem.
Jesus. Think for yourself, question authority. Thanks so much for watching, gamers. Please give this video a thumbs up, share with your friends, and do me the biggest favor of all, and keep dreaming. Also subscribe. Be sure to subscribe.
No. I'm done with this video. Let me make myself big. Dreamcast Guy. You're horrible with that take, dude. It's going to get hotter, dude. You can't stop that. That's just how PC work. Consoles are closer to PCs than there was in the past. And it's starting to look like that. Sony messed up on this. They messed up everything. They censoring games. Ever since they moved I want to say this. Ever since they moved their headquarters to California, Sony been going down the drain. I'm dead serious. They've been going down the drain. They've been trying to censor games. They've been trying to charge you overpriced games, everything. They started to go down the drain, dude. And I think what you need to do is you need to criticize Sony a lot better and don't mislead your fans. But anyways, sorry, that's it. Sorry about the late loads. Remember next Saturday, I got a sorry, I'm tired. Remember, next Saturday I have an interview with a furry. I give more details later. And remember, I got a giveaway as well. I forgot to say in the beginning of the video. And until I hit that 1,000 subscriber. But hey, if I earn your subscription, I'm glad that I got you on my side. And remember, everybody's human. My name's Sendo Q. You have yourself a great day. Bye.